Hey everyone, I just realized I forgot to make an intro to this video. It's how I custom painted my husband's white Nikes and made them into Joker type shoes. So here's that. Sorry for the weird intro. I wanted to show off my little mask because I made this myself too. I'd never made a mask before, and I made up my own pattern. If you want to see how I did that, I'll make a video on how I make masks. Just leave a comment down below and let me know about it. Also, I'll leave links to where he got his shoes from, and I'll try to find the original picture that he showed me. He said he's not sure if that was the artist, but he found it on Instagram. I'll try to find that and leave a link to it in the I'll try to find that and leave a link to it in the description part of the thingy. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, here's the video. Bye.
So, here's the before. Just a plain white Nike sneaker, high top. I don't know why we got white, because obviously black would have been easier. And this is the after. I referenced a pair of Jordans on Instagram, and I will try to link that. These are the markers I used. And this is the one and only black paint marker I own. So yes, this is the one marker I use to color both sneakers. It's a fine tip Posca marker. And it worked actually really well. I just got my fat tip markers in the mail, so I might try to use those next time. I might try to make some Batman sneakers next, I think. Basically what I did is I fill in the sides and I trace around the edges before I start filling it in, so that way the sides of the leather are covered and not super visible against the black background. It's about at this point that I realized, why am I starting with the black when it's easier to cover up mistakes if you're using a lighter color? So if I go out of the lines with the green, I can just cover it with the black. So I switched over to the green marker, and I had to do a couple coats because it's not super opaque. And the marker is kind of old. It's about 4 years old. I'm not sure what shade it is exactly because the whole marker is in Japanese, so I don't know. It's like a mint icy green, and then once you spray over it with the clear coat, it turns into more of a lime neon green, kind of. This is the second coat, and I think I do a third coat as well, but I'm not 100% sure. I tried to get the green to look as uniform as possible, but there were some blemishes here and there, and once I covered it with the clear coat spray paint, it just kind of smoothed it all out and it was more uniform. It was around this point, right here, where I color over a sticker, or the remnants of a sticker, and my husband was like, oh yeah, by the way, there was a sticker there. I'm like, yeah, I kind of figured that out now. Thanks for letting me know before I colored over it. But it's okay. I had fun with this project. This part of the shoe kind of sucks to run a marker over because of all the little holes. But it's not too bad, I guess. Actually, no. Right around this area kind of sucked a lot because I don't know why. It just kept smudging. So I had to let it dry completely. And then you'll see later on in the video I go back and I touch it up. Because some parts, like, there were little parts of white peeking through. If nothing else, I find this quite satisfying to watch. If you like to color, this is the art project for you. This is the first pair of sneakers I've ever colored or custom painted, whatever you want to say. I'm not one who likes to color, so I wasn't sure if I would like doing this, but I really had fun and I definitely want to try it again. And like I said, I referenced a photo off of Instagram. It was some Jordan shoes painted like the Joker. I tried to put my own twist on it, but also make it close to the original because my husband really liked those ones. I just didn't want to copy it completely because I'd feel bad, and like I like to do my own thing. So yeah. I don't know. I guess that's the point of customizing something, huh? Now I'm outlining the check mark. I went straight over the black with the green marker, and it was actually easier to cover the black with the green than I thought it would be. It smudges a little bit to begin with, but if you let it dry between each layer and make sure there's paint on it, it's pretty good at covering it. So today is day 2 of painting the sneakers. Hopefully this is a good or even better camera angle than day 1. The kids are out in the living room playing video games, and my daughter is doing homework with Dad. I don't want to disturb them, so I just decided I'd go in the office and do this. So yeah, hopefully it works. I think I like this camera angle better. You can see what I'm doing more close up. And I have my fancy pants on, so the black isn't blending in. But yeah, so here we go. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm starting the drip patterns for the paint. The outline of the Nike mark, the green that I put on the outside, it was dried already from the night before, so I had to go over it a couple times to get it to blend together. You can kind of see that there's a line of demarcation between the drips and the outline, so I go over it again to try and wet the outline to make it blend in better with the drip pattern. And it's okay if it looks like crap to begin with, because I know that this part looks like crap, and it's totally fine, because what I do next is I go in and make the fine details with that black Posca marker. After I let this dry, it was taking forever. That's what I was trying to do. So first I do this, and then I'm like, hey, it's still wet. Okay, and then I'm waiting, I blow on it, and then I set it down and start going over this one again, because you can see where the purple was wearing away a little bit. If you make these, don't paint the sole of the shoe. It was stupid. I hit it with the clear coat and it still chipped away. So here I am going back in with the black. I'm doing the outline kind of to make it look more like paint drips. And it's okay if you make a mistake, because you can either cover it up or you can make it part of the art piece. I just kept telling myself, like, it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to look exactly the same as the other shoe. The whole point is that it's paint drips, it's supposed to look messy, it's okay if you mess up, just either cover it or fix it or make it look like it was supposed to be like that. So don't worry if you mess up, like I did right here a little bit. Do you see where the black went into the green? I go in there in a second and I fix it. Right there, I'm adding more details for the spray paint pattern. And then I go in and I outline those as well. That part I messed up, so I waited because it was still a little bit wet. And I figured I could just color over it again and then redo it. See, there you go. I fixed that one part. There, I was trying to show that the green blends out with the black, so it gets a little bit lighter. You gotta go over it a couple times. I messed up on that part too, so I just covered it and then did it again. Again, I messed up, and then I think I go back in there with the green, but I'm not sure if I forgot. Yep, there we go. And then this here is not a paint marker, it's a marker my husband brought home from work, and I just thought it looked more like a blood color, and since these are Joker shoes, I thought it was a little bit more fitting than the bright red paint marker, which is like a light red. It ended up working like really good for the ha-has, but for the check mark here, I wanted it to be more like a crimson blood red type of deal. This little marker is a champ, I swear. It is worth its weight in black markers. See, this part is because I made a mistake when I first started making these, and I got some black in the outline of the green, and I liked it, so I kept it. The outlining was kind of annoying because you had to get it right. Like, I mean, you don't have to get it right, it's however you want it to look, but I had a certain vision that I wanted it to be like, and this part in particular on this shoe was just like frustrating the heck out of me because it was getting too thin, then it was too thick, and then I had to go over it again, and I don't know, I just was having trouble with this part. And struggling for a little bit, but then I got it and it turned out good. It's just difficult to like stop and like think while you're in the middle of a project. Like, it's okay if it looks messy now. It doesn't matter, you can clean it up later. But in the moment, I was like, this is so stupid. Why won't it work for me? Oh my god. And then I was letting it dry and filling in parts that didn't completely get covered on the tip of the shoe. I recommend trying to stay out of the Nike mark with the green marker, because going over it with the red marker kind of like made it sticky, made the marker a little bit sticky. I think it's just like an alcohol ink marker. I'm not sure. He works at a assembly line, so they use it to mark machines. Here I'm going in, making the drips. This side was so much easier to make the drips on. I kind of messed up and like made it really thick in the back, but it ended up working out in my favor because it turns out looking really cool. Then I go in and fine line it with that black there. I guess I don't know if it's called fine lining, but that's just what I was referring to it as. Because I go here and I make it look like that, and I thought it looked really cool. And here I am out of frame, which, whoops. And for a lot of the small details, I just kind of let myself do what I felt looked good. I wasn't trying to copy off anything or be exact. I just did what felt natural, I guess. Just try not to overthink it. Overthinking your projects is the worst, because then it starts to get frustrating and difficult and annoying. Now I'm starting on the ha-has. Again, this is another thing. Try not to overthink it. Just do it. You know, just let yourself wander and like put them wherever you feel like it. It doesn't have to be uniform. It doesn't have to look a certain way. Just do what you think feels right, I guess. This part. This was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it. It turns out looking cool, but I don't think I'm ever going to color the bottoms of a shoe again, because it just didn't work out for me. Like, the first time my husband wore them, the purple is wearing off now, and like, it looks okay because it's a Joker shoe, so it's like, you know, messy a little bit, and I don't know. It just, it fits the look, but if it was anything else, I would have been upset because this took forever and it was very tedious because my markers, my fat markers, are old and the tips of them are frayed and kind of messed up. The purple was in okay condition because it had never been used before this project, I don't think. And I don't know, I figured out a way to make it better so it wasn't getting into the green so much, but it just really was annoying and I wish I hadn't done it. So things I would change would be, I would get black sneakers and not paint the soles purple. But if you don't mind a messy, grungier look, then go ahead and paint the soles of your shoes. It turns out pretty cool if that's what you're going for. These are the first sneakers I've ever painted, but the second pair of shoes I've ever painted because I found a pair of suede like combat boots at the thrift store once, and I got those for like $5 probably, and they turned out really good, and they held the paint really well because the outside fabric was suede, so it sucked in the paint. And I made Harley Quinn boots. I can do a video on those too, I suppose. I don't have a recording of how I did them because it was a while ago, before I had my camera and everything. Now I'm showing you how I paint the tongue. I take really cheap, crappy kids craft paint that I thought was a steal at the time I bought it, and then I tried using it and I realized it was garbage. And I water it way down so that it's like watercolor almost, and then I took this paintbrush and got into the little edges because I'm an idiot, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna paint the tongue last because I'm stupid. Why wouldn't I have done this first? Like, I'm at this point in my project on the second shoe, like, why didn't I do these parts first? Because then I could have cleaned up my mess, but whatever, it still works out. Just saturate a paintbrush or a paper towel, because I don't have any paintbrushes right now that would have worked for this. But if you have like a paint sponge or a paper towel, just dip it in the paint water concoction and sponge it on so it saturates the fabric all the way through. If you have white sneakers like I did, it would have worked better if they were black, but whatever. And just smoosh it in there, so that way you don't see any of the white peeking through. And then I go in and I just clean up the edges. And right about now I'm like, yay, I'm finished. And then I look at it and go, oh shoot, I didn't color in the Nike part. And I don't know if I got that on camera either because I might be out of frame. Oh nope, I got it. There we go. Yeah, the paint water makes a mess, but it's really fun. Always sign your work. This is the spray sealer stuff, the clear coat stuff. Right here I'm trying to show that it's a satin finish. There you go. And it does dry really fast. So here we go. It makes the tongue stiff, but if you work it a little bit, it gets softer. You just gotta like squeeze it around and scrunch it up. This stuff, actually, I would not recommend for sealing it because it ended up cracking kind of bad when my husband took it on a walk. Like the tip of the shoe ended up cracking. So if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I upload new content. Here's a beautiful shot of my lilac bushes in my backyard. See you later.